Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'll be talking about the last game of the Serie A before this international break that was between Inter Milan and Napoli. As we can see, it ended 1-1. But Inter did have a penalty in the 74th minute, which Çalhanoğlu missed, which should have been the deciding goal. But since they missed, Napoli gets a 1-1 and bounce back after losing to Atalanta last week. And then when we look at momentum in the first half, it was a very even game. As we can see, Inter had more possession, had more chances, and this has been Napoli's problem. First of all, they're not clinical. Like, I know they score 1-5, but over times they sometimes have a hard time creating the chances, which means that games where they are not super effective and actually taking their chances, they kind of end up losing, like with Atalanta last week. But yeah, Inter dominated the stats. The goal they score is a long shot banger from Çalhanoğlu, but they have some big chances. The pen, this one too. Okay, this one again. Which is also why when you see defensive stats, Napoli really blocked and cleared a lot of. They were pressed back by Inter. This is where Napoli do get a draw in this chance and stay on top of the Serie A. But this is one game where normally a 1-1 draw away is a good result to a direct title contender. But this game could easily head in the winner Inter as the winner. Napoli scored. Napoli had some decent chances. So you can see they had 3 on target. 4 on target, but they go. But yeah, Napoli definitely could have gotten more out of this game. Inter should have gotten more out of this game, especially because of the missed penalty. So Inter did have a chance to win the game, but they ended up Çalhanoğlu didn't end up being able to convert the penalty. So that's a 1-1. And if we look at the table of 12 rounds with this international break, we have Napoli in first place with 26 points. Then we have 4 teams with 25 points, which is good. And then we have Juventus with 24, and then we have a gap to AC Milan, which I also talked about earlier. So then we have this gap here, with 6 points down to AC Milan, which haven't had the best of seasons. And we kind of have the top 6 is kind of getting away, getting a bit of a cushion down to the 7. And if we look, Lazio get only a 1-0 victory over bottom team Monza. Bologna beats Roma in a 3-2 game, and Fiorentina convincingly beats Hellas Veronas. So yeah, after this round, the Serie A before the international break, Napoli is still ahead, but with 1 point, and we kind of have a split up. But in terms of form, Atalanta and Fiorentina are doing really well. As you can see here, Atalanta, they won. Of course, but it's also when you look at who they won over. Yes, okay, Udinese, 9th place. Napoli, 1st place. Monza, 19th. Verona, 14th. And Venice, 20th. Fiorentina, Genoa, Roma. They haven't in the last 5 games played one of the top teams. They've only played more of the bottom half of the table and beat them. and Lazio lost to Juventus that stayed unbeaten. But Inter's last two are also one in a real good form. They beat Arsenal in the midweek, and then they drew Napoli, and they drew Juventus. Else they have basically won most of the game except the first one they lost against Hellas Veronas in the opening week, if I remember correctly. And we still have Juventus that is unbeaten, but an even 6-6 in terms of victories and draws. And they're playing AC Milan, and this is why this gap is going to become really, really big if Juventus beat AC Milan next after the international break. Because if we look at it, Lazio should beat Bologna, Inter should beat. There's one other play. Lost two. Fiorentina should beat Como, Atalanta should beat Parma, or Napoli should beat Roma. So the upper top five teams, besides 5 of the top 6 teams, has bottom table opponents, and then you were just playing seventh place. And if they win, they again will create this gap. Or Bologna is not at bottom 17, but if Lazio Juventus beat Milan and Bologna, we will have this gap created with now 9 points at least, or at least 8 points if Udinese wins against Napoli, which is a direct table clash. But else we will have gotten even more of a cushion. And this is where the Serie A is starting to get a bit of a gap where we don't know who's in the relegation fight yet, but we do know that the top 6 are starting to build a pretty big gap in terms of results and and it starts to be of course you say Milan and Bologna has a game between them. They will play at some point, which will give one of them 3 points and make this gap a little bit less unless they draw. But depending on when that game falls, it can already be too late. If it falls in 4 rounds and not whenever, or even later, the gap may be more than 6 points. Right now, if I'm to win, the gap is only 3 points. But let's say that Juventus and Lazio beats Milan and Bologna next week, then the gap is only 9 points, and then the winner of the game will only still have 6 point gap. So right now, this game in hand, yes, it makes the gap less, but depending on when it's played, it can already be too late when the gap is. The gap is, let's say there's a 12-point gap between Juventus at 6 and Milan at 7. Suddenly it doesn't matter that they have a game they haven't played against Bologna. Yes, taking those 3 points back, but it starts to become an insurmountable amount they need to recover. But yeah, Napoli playing the 1-1 I would say, in a game Inter deserves to win because of the penalty. Because besides that, it's very even in expected goals and a bit uneven in shots, but Inter sometimes has a lot of shots and not actually get anything out of it. So yeah, that's what we have in store for today after the break. Well, anyway, that's it for this video. To my left, down below left, there will be another video recommended by everyone. Down below right, you can subscribe to my channel. See ya!